going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna make a quick video. My prayers are going out to those who are affected by Hurricane Idalia in Florida. Looks to be a very tragic event, but I have to do this video. I have to point out some things. I'm gonna make this very precise and very quick. Now, I'm not sure if many of you've heard, but in Florida, coincidentally, right when people should be evacuating, look what happens. Florida, contaminated gas. What stations are impacted by the stop sale order? Now, I find that the timing of this very interesting. The time when people need their vehicles gassed up to leave a potentially catastrophic event, all of a sudden, the gasoline is contaminated, and now they have a stop selling of gasoline in gas vehicles. Now, we understand this climate narrative about promoting electric vehicles, vehicles that are connected to the cloud, to the grid, that could be controlled by via remote or through whatever frequencies. We understand what's going on. We saw what happens with these smart appliances that they want to promote and take away gas stoves and water heaters and all of these things that don't meet certain regulations because they want to be able to cut you off and control what you're doing in any instance of non-compliance. So let's read this. It says Tampa, Florida, half a dozen gas stations across the Bay Area are still not permitted to sell gasoline after the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services say human error at the Port of Tampa led to widespread fuel contaminations at gas stations fueled by Sitco. Now, let's continue. As you see, this is crazy. And of course, we saw what happened in Hawaii, right? Going with the greatest quote unquote wildfire in history, no water, no emergency vehicles. They actually had utility trucks blocking the exits for people not to be able to leave. So it's interesting how many of these so-called coincidences are going to occur before people wake up and see what's going on. Crazy. So I just had to share some of this. Let me see what this is right here. This is some of the. Oh yeah, let's talk about this. Now I don't know how many have heard, but apparently preceding it was record warm water temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico. Record warmth. I mean, they're talking about temperatures over 100 degrees. Now, I followed sea surface temperatures through NOAA, the National Weather Service, since I was a child. And the highest I've seen was maybe 88 degrees. Now, having a water temperature, we're talking about large bodies of water where heat is can be evenly distributed, having a location or any specific area heated up to 101 plus degrees is insane. Now, many of you all are familiar with this heat wave that's going on in Texas and the Midwest, and it's been very persistent. Now, that same, they call it high pressure ridge, or these calm winds at high above the atmosphere with warm air intrudes high in the atmosphere and it blocks the jet stream and it blocks storms. Well, this has also been persistent over the Gulf of Mexico, allowing the water to just be to heat up. And of course, I don't even want to talk about the other alternative of their DEW weapons and potential applications of that. But I just think it's very interesting. They want you to ignore all these pieces. They want you to think that everything is just some kind of weird coincidence, that this is the hottest on record, and during the hottest on record, all of these things are just seemingly happening all at once. The gas stations are have contaminated gas in Hawaii, and islands surrounded by water. Coincidentally, there's no water available to put out the biggest fire they've ever had in history, and all of these things are happening all of a sudden. Look, wildly hot Gulf of Mexico waters could fuel rapid intensification of Hurricane Idalia. So let me just go through some of these real quick. Feels like a hot tub. Look at this. Now, it's just a lot going on. Just a lot going on. And of course, I have to be careful of how I reveal this information because the obvious, right? So let's go to something very interesting. Let's go to Fortune. Let me see. I wanted to talk about, okay, this is back to Hawaii. Now, look at this. Residents of Hawaii say utility trucks blocked road as they tried to flee. Now, something very interesting hits me when I think about this. First, the people received no emergency vehicle assistance, no help, but yet it seems that the utility vehicles, which were doing absolutely nothing but blocking the roads. Now, no fire trucks, no emergency vehicles, no first-hand responders were on the scene to help these people in real time, but coincidentally, the vehicles, utility vehicles, were blocking the exit. I find that very, very strange. Let's continue. This is the Los Angeles Times. Chaos and terror, failed communications left residents trapped by fires, scores died. And they want you to believe that this is some all weird agenda of the climate and there's no corrupt element being involved in any of this. I just want you to read. That's all we're doing here. This is for fair use, informational and educational purposes only. We critically think over here. I want people to think for themselves, put these pieces together with a critical thinking mind. Potentially a world record. Now, we about to get into some real interesting talk here. Let me see here. Okay, let's go right to this. Now, this is the military here. Defense Technical Information Center, titled Weather as a Force Multiplier, Owning the Weather in 2025. So this is the military here. This is Dot Mill, straight from the military, telling you, I'm not going to open it up, but you can just read some of this for yourself. We all know about this word here that I can't say, right? But just look for yourself. Approved for public release. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Now check this document out. Another military document. This is a PDF format. It says Air Command and Staff College, Air University, operational defenses through weather control in 2030. Very interesting that they will use that specific year. So this is from the Air Force. Here it is, United States Air Force. Now, let's just go through some of this. Now, report date, April 2009. Now, I just want to focus on here. I'm not going to read too much, but it says the United States needs to incorporate the defense against, what is this right here? The DO, with the same intensity used developing anti-ballistic missiles defense. One of the major drawbacks to optical or DO is the inability to penetrate clouds or dense fogs. Advances in technology are beginning to bring weather phenomenon under our control. Greatly increased computing power and micronized delivery systems will allow us to create specific perturbations in the local atmospheric conditions. So I just want people to look at this. Look, this is all military document. I'll try to put these in the description, and you can think for yourself. This is from the U.S. patent. This is another PDF because they wanted this stuff in PDF because it makes it harder for people to search. And most people don't read PDF documents because it's a lot. But this one is specifically U.S. Patent Office. The patent number right here, process for controlling weather. And so I'm not going to read too much of it, but this is just informational, educational purposes only. Think for yourself while you still can. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings, and catch you in the next one.